I am Obadiah Ogoredore Alegbe, also known as Otitigbe, a professor in computer engineering based here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Today is August 2, 2024. I see over the news about the popular uprising and protest in Nigeria. I express my solidarity with my people back home that are exercising their constitutional right to protest. Democracy does not exist if there is no free speech or right to protest. It is human rights in democracy to protest and also to accept, as long as it is done in a civilized form and without violence. Here is my take. Nigerians, fellow countrymen, no matter how bad the government is, do not call for military takeover. The military caused all the evils in Nigeria today. I remember when I was young in Nigeria under Gowon, Nigerians used to say that the worst democratic government is better than the best military government. Do not forget. Do not go that way. Military regnum nefas est. The sickness in democracy can only be cured by more democracy. Democracy is the only system that can rectify itself. It is sad to see that during this uprising, some people are calling for army takeover. That is wrong. I was young. In 1965, there was Operation Wet here in Yoruba land. There was a popular uprising. I saw it personally. The formation of UPGA by NCNC and Action Group opposing NNDP. Blood flowed in the streets of Yoruba land. In fact, where we were living in Erionke, my father's home, we were raided by thugs. Whereas my father, as a pastor, has always been neutral and had nothing to do with politics. In fact, when elections come, my father and mother will say, Mo dibo fun Jesu. Yet they raided my home. So also, Nigeria was boiling in the western region, that the president had to run away, leaving the government, the presidency in the hand of the president of Senate, Senate, who were for Orizu. Orizu called a group of senators, and they called on the Chief of Army Staff, Aguiyi Ironsi, asking him to sign a paper. In the paper it was written, your people have begun a revolt which we fear may spread. Please take this administration of government from us, because you have the right means to deal with them. When you have dealt with them, then return the administrative power back to us. That was the biggest blunder politician committed in Nigeria. To give government to the people voted you to govern. To govern means to tackle all the problem of the country and heal the nation. No, you dodged and you gave it to soldiers that are not prepared to government. They are prepared to defend the country from external aggression. That day, Nwafor Orisu and his friends, they sold Nigeria. They did not even invite the Prime Minister, nor the Minister of Finance, Okotie-Eboh. No, it was a group of senators with the power of the President of Senate. They handed over Nigeria to evil that day. Since that day, Nigeria had known no peace. Then soldiers took over. They were not prepared. Every small grumble, another coup, which brought Yakubu Gowon to be the head of state. And then, two soldiers that studied together in Sandust, young, 30 years, 32 years, they were not magnanimous. They brought their tribal differences into the government and exploited the tribal sentiments of the people, and Nigeria went to war. I was a volunteer in the Nigerian Red Cross Society in Sapele and Efrun. I was in Sapele when the federal troop liberated Sapele under the leadership of Murtala Mohammed. The bad image in that civil war, I still have it in my eyes. I remember one day in the Sapele market, standing and looking on River Ethiop. I saw the body of Igbos floating on Uriapele. One Urobo man look at me, say, Ameigure onwavre akedamina. That means 7 waters will flow before we can again drink the water of Uriapele. We were already drinking it. We were already eating fish from it. I saw the evil. My classmates at Ethiopian Trade School Sapele in Ghana, Sapele, had to run away. I remember after the liberation of Midwest region, one of my good schoolmates from Agbo, Obi, returned, shaved, and changed his surname to Obi Akpe. I said, "You're Obi." Say, "No, I'm Obi Akpe." I said, "You're Obi." I said, "I'm Obi Akpe." I was annoyed with him that he had to change his name so that he will not be confused as an Igbo. Till today, the scars of the Civil War provoked by two soldiers that refuse to be magnanimous. Yes, with my age and experience and knowledge of international politics, I can query the past. The two soldiers were not magnanimous. They exploited our tribal differences, and Nigeria went to war. But the big blame is on Nwafo Orizu and the group of senators that instead of resigning, they had to hand over Nigeria to cowboys. Till today, we are still suffering it. So, let us stop calling for military change. This democracy must continue with all its ugliness, with all its rigging, with one day be one day. Nigeria will rise up to fall no more. That day, we all must remember that though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. So, Nigerians must uphold democracy. We have been warning you since 2015, but you were silent while jihadists took over Nigeria. There is still a chance for change. First, stop all greed through corruption. Next time, defend your vote in a civilized manner. See a video of Nigeria in 1965 before the army took over, and you will see that it is the same environment that today is being repeated. While I support the protest of Nigerians, I urge the National Assembly to do their work. Military takeover. There are constitutional provisions. If the people do not want the government, there are constitutional provisions that the National Assembly can take to save the nation. That is, if they really are interested. If they are not interested, there are still constitutional provisions in the grassroots. The grassroots have a way of recalling their legislators and replace them with their choice. So military takeover is not the solution. In fact, it is the people takeover. The people is sovereign. No violence. Just organize referendum in each senatorial district and vote to recall your senator that is not speaking out for the people. Democracy is not building big mansions for leaders. So first, stop all greed through corruption. Next time, defend your vote in a civilized manner. One good way is returning the regional form of government as the British handed it over to Nigeria. India, Pakistan, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia all received regional system. I mean to say parliamentarian democracy. And it works and grows stronger and stronger in those countries. Nigeria must return immediately to the parliamentarian democracy, and every region will take care of itself. Stop the Islamization tendency that while people are suffering, leaders have luxurious cruiser boats that are bought for the president, mansions built for the vice president, in a very Arabic form of ruling. It should not have a place in sub-Saharan Africa. Heed my call. Military government is not an option for any government in the world. When I was young, we used to sing, "O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. May the peace of God of all creation be upon the land of my ancestors, Nigeria."